Good afternoon, everyone. It is now April 25, 2025, and it is 3:42 p.m. And I call this first day, second special session to order. Before we proceed with any order of business, may I ask everyone to please rise for a moment of silence. Once again, good afternoon to everyone present here today. Before we proceed, I'd like to recognize the staff assisting the Rota Legislative Delegation. In today's session, we have our legal counsel, Joe Bermudez, our delegation clerk, Francis Joan Kaipat, our delegation journal clerk, Baby Hoku, our Youth Congress coordinator who's assisting the committee and the LB is we have LG Castro, our legislative assistant Devin Macaranas, Sergeant at Arms Ben Terlahi, IT Delbert Camacho. With that, I recognize the clerk to take roll.
Senator Calvo.
Present.
Chairman Manglonia.
Present.
Senator Mendiola.
Here.
Representative Fogo.
Here, present.
Mr. Chairman, we have all 4 members present.
Thank you, clerk. With all 4 members present, we have the quorum to proceed with today's session. Now, before we go any further, at this time I recognize the floor leader for the proper motion.
Thank you, Chairman. At this time, I would like to make a motion to suspend pertinent rules to receive unnumbered communications.
Second.
All right, there was a motion made and was seconded. Any discussion?
Ready.
All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. We now move on to public comment, and the floor is now open. Looks like we have none, and so we proceed with the next order of business, adoption of journal. I recognize the clerk, the floor leader.
Thank you, Chairman. At this time, I would like to make a motion to adopt RLD number 24-02, first day, first special session, April 4th, 2025. So move.
Second.
Any discussion from the members?
Ready.
All in favor of adopting ROD Journal 2402, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
Aye.
We now move on to item D, introduction of local resolutions. We have none. Messages from the governor. Recognize clerk.
Mr. Chairman, we have 1 governor's communication number 24-01.
Thank you, clerk. Comment from the members? If none, I just want to inform the members and the expenditure authority that as of yesterday or today, these accounts have been created and the funds are available for use. Additionally, the Secretary of Finance already received copies of the listing for the medical allowance, and so for the members, if any of our constituents approach you, it is being worked on and hopefully will be out next week. Unfortunately, I think finance is in the process of moving, so I don't know if that will affect the processing time, but we'll continue to follow up next week, and so we thank you for your patience and understanding. Next item on the agenda, messages from the mayor, none. Messages from council, we have none. Reports of communications from heads of departments and agencies, we have none. House communications, we have none. Senate communications, recognize the clerk.
Mr. Chairman, we have 1 Senate communication number 24-04.
Thank you. Any comment from the member? None. We move on to delegation matters. I recognize the clerk.
Mr. Chairman, we have 7 delegation matters numbers 24-14 through 24-20.
Thank you, clerk. Any comment from the members? Just a quick comment. All these resolutions, particularly the one pertaining to the Mr. Adolfo Cabo members, the family thanks you for your support. This was presented to him at the library activity last week, and I presented this on behalf of the delegation, and so the family extends their appreciation to you all. Thank you. Miscellaneous communications, recognize the clerk.
Chairman, we have two miscellaneous communication number 24-04 and 24-05.
Thank you, clerk. Any comments from the members? Recognize Senate President Mendiola.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, first of all, I'd like to comment on the miscellaneous communication from the gaming commissioners on the summary of their 155,000 appropriated under local law 2315. Mr. Chairman, I think the problem is that we're finding, and this is something that we need to address in the coming session, and I think Rep. Julie will chime in on this, is that we're having problems with the department head. I'm talking about the finance department head recusing herself from participating because of a conflict. But I think that this is something that we need to address in a new legislation by removing the expenditure authority and reverting it back to the commissioners as we discussed. No, this is becoming problematic for the individuals that are trying to get back paid, specifically that aspect of this, because one of the challenges that the commissioners are finding. Thank you. One of the challenges that the commissioners are running into is the actual documentation of proving their time in as commissioners, and that's presenting a problem because we don't have all the documentation in terms of the time they served and what's owed to them specifically, meaning the numbers that are being presented to the commissioners versus the numbers that they have on record is not matching. So that's becoming problematic from them. Although 10,000, it's only 10,000 that we appropriated. It's not going to exceed the total amount. The problem is that the department head, or the Department of Finance, which is Director Hokuk, is refusing to certify anything without the proper documentation. So, Mr. Chairman, I think the course of action that I recommend is that we just revert this back to the commission and just give the authority back to them and hold them liable for ensuring that this funding is properly spent, Mr. Chairman. So, thank you. That's the unnumbered communication 24-05. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield for now.
Thank you, President. I believe council had already looked into their concerns and have prepared something, a rough draft, but it's just for the purpose of Rep. Julie to introduce, and then we can further amend it or clean it up when it gets to the delegation. So, Rep. Julie, if you're okay with to reintroduce it, we can get your staff to have you sign off and have it pre-filed.
Okay, acknowledge.
Thank you. Anything else from the members? Senate President, recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Also, I wanted to just kind of touch up on this communication of accepting a new, certification by Rota Health Center. I think, Mr. Chairman, something that we need to look into, just as a delegation, is probably redefining this and kind of creating a new entity that just oversees the whole subsistence allowance, so we take it out of the delegation's hand. I think for a long time it's been controversial because the opinions of who should get or who shouldn't get kind of differs based on opinion from person to person. So I think one of the things that will alleviate that pressure, or not pressure, but that confusion, is to just allow for the delegation to create a board that oversees this, and this board will consist of medical professionals that actually can read the narrative of whatever is being transmitted to this board in terms of what's the ailment, the issue of the patient, and such, so that I think it'll eliminate the political part of this. I think that's the biggest challenge, is that sometimes we are forced to be in a situation where we don't want to be, But of course, trying to define who deserves, I think everybody deserves. I think we all can agree to that, that everybody deserves it. But the problem is that if we define it based on medical needs, that might vary from person to person. So, Mr. Chairman, I think this is something that we can look into as a group and just figure out how to get this out of the delegation stance. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield.
Thank you, Senate President. And I totally agree. I think two legislatures ago, there was a bill that was introduced. It was vetoed, and I think Council was preparing for reintroduction with the amendments to address the AG's concerns. And I think no one ever tried to reintroduce it, but it is up for grabs. If any of the members would like to take a look into it, and you're totally right in the sense that we want to depoliticize it, but also, as many of our people know, that all these monies that are used for programs like these come from our poker fees, and we've already lost one establishment. We're down to 2 establishments, and so we need to try to stretch every dollar we can get, and to ensure that all the programs that are currently still running are being funded. And so I think the intention was basically what the Senate President had recommended in terms of putting medical professionals on that board. I think the only concern that the AG had was that we're creating another board and all of that. But if we can mirror it to something like the Rota Municipal Scholarship Board, then that could address some of the concerns. But again, if any of the members would like to work with Councilor Bermudez, he has some history on it, as he had drafted that legislation in the past, and so thank you for bringing that up. And so with that, members, by accepting miscellaneous communication 2404, that acknowledges the approval by each member to include the individual onto the program. And so any of all members, all in favor of accepting communication 2404, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
Aye.
Thank you. And that takes care of one of the objective of this session. But before we proceed any further, if there's no objection, Clerk, can we go back to House Communications? And I mentioned there was none, but this just came in. Recognize the clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have one House Communication 24-02.
Okay. Any comment? If there's none, we move down to item N, reports of committee. We have none. Unfinished business, we have none. Resolution calendar, we have none. Bill calendar, we have none. Miscellaneous business, any member would like to discuss anything? Recognize Senate President.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. One miscellaneous business that I do like to share with the delegation is that since you're going to be in the special committee on economic development, I think this is something that's good for this committee to also for the members of this delegation to just jump in and kind of help out and look at economic activity for Rota specifically, to look at regulations that are hampering some of our abilities to attract investment to the island of Rota. I think that's and you can be utilized as a, Mr. Chairman, you can be utilized as a tool to channel some of these concerns, as this committee that is formed in the Senate is specifically dealing with economic recovery. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senate President. Any other members? If there's none, we move down to announcements. Anything from the members?
Chairman, can I be recognized, Chairman?
Recognize Rep. Ogo.
Okay. Thank you, Chairman. So I just wanted to give an update on the CVP virtual clearance in Rota. I arrived here yesterday. We did a test run with CBP, and the connection went smoothly. Again, this morning we did another test run, and pretty much the customs and biosecurity are ready to collaborate with this pilot program. So we're waiting on the MOU draft between CBP, the Department of Finance Division of Customs and Biosecurity, and the CPA Ports Police to sign off, and then we can launch the pilot program. So I will be updating you guys again.
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Rev. Julian. Please extend our appreciation to all the entities involved on there. Thank you. Anything under announcements from the members?
Will do.
Any other announcements? If there's none, we now move on to the final item on the agenda, adjournment, and I recognize the floor leader.
Thank you, Chairman. I move to adjourn this session. Thank you. So moved.
Second.
There was a motion made and was seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. This session is
Aye.
hereby adjourned at 3:58 p.m.